met Dr. Gates in 2013, he offered me the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become the first full-time genetic genealogist, DNA expert, working on a television series. This was very fitting since Dr. Gates' work was groundbreaking in this field, and he was the first to bring genetic genealogy to broad public audiences through his television series, African American Lives, starting in 2006. And later, in February 2010, I remember being amazed watching his series, Faces of America, when he demonstrated the power of autosomal DNA cousin matching to reveal connections that the paper trail could not. This was truly cutting edge, especially since the series was actually filmed in 2009, before any of the commercial companies were even offering this service. So I was, of course, honored and thrilled to be invited to work with this true pioneer, Dr. Gates. When I first started working with the series, the formula was that the guest was presented with the paper trail research until that ran out. And then we would turn to the DNA to see what that could uncover. From the beginning, my goal was to integrate the DNA research with the paper trail research and into the body of the stories we were telling our guests and the audience. Fortunately, I work with the best boss and team in the media business at Roots, and they embraced my DNA work fully. We started making great strides in this area in season 3 with the LL Cool J story. If you've seen the show, you know that through DNA, we uncovered the decades-old secret that his mother was adopted. Then, in last season, we were able to do something similar for Taya Leone and her mother. In this case, the adoption was not secret, but the identities of the birth parents were. Again, through DNA, we were able to identify both biological birth parents and reunited family. To our great surprise and joy, her birth mother is also still living. And we don't expect to find that for adoptees born in the 1940s. And they have also been able to meet and build a relationship with the biological family. And none of this could have been accomplished without DNA research. But this type of research is not just for adoptees. In this next season that we're working on now, we have been very successful in more fully integrating the documentary research with the DNA research, more than ever before, making meaningful discoveries for many of our guests. And this fits well with the theme of RootsTech this year, connect, belong. By reconnecting lost family branches through DNA, we can find new ancestors, new cousins, new research connections, new stories, and a greater sense of belonging. There is no more powerful tool than DNA testing to reach these goals. You may be thinking, well, sure, for the experts, but how can I accomplish this? Let me tell you, DNA research is for everyone. You all carry this unique record within you. You all have genealogical brick walls just waiting to be demolished by this record. In the course of my work, every day I see amazing discoveries and answers to decades-old research questions that are just waiting to be found by the family researchers. This record, this potential you have inside you, can be unlocked.
Summers of summer camp, bringing kids from all over the country, middle school kids, and we made a film for RootsTech. We are debuting our results right now. Can you play the video? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to see.
13 kids, ages 10 to 13, from different parts of the US and Canada, each with different stories, and families with origins the world over, came together for a genetics and genealogy camp to research the question,
you can see your DNA very clearly.
who am I? Who were my ancestors? Where did they come from? How are we different? How much do we share? And how far back can we go?
My dad's great-great-great-grandfather.
They're digging into their family trees and finding their roots.
I always wondered where I came from and why am I here?
I was really excited to start it because I really wanted to learn about myself.
It sounded really cool, so I sent in my form to try to be part of the camp.
I thought that would be a good experience for me because I love science and I want to study about DNA.
We're going to give you the tools to explore, the tools to explore other organisms, the tools to think about your near and distant ancestry. And the beautiful thing about this approach is that you are in the driver's seat. All you campers are doing the work of scientists. You are scientists this week.
And I'm hoping that I learned a lot here.
Well, welcome to Finding Your Roots.
One of the most fundamental questions we all ask ourselves is kind of who am I and who are we? You know, it's as natural a question as, human beings have asked ourselves since the beginning of time.
I have to search all this stuff up.
We're asking curious kids to ask questions about their own origin, about their own place in their family's genealogy, and their own place in human evolution. Basically, where do they fit in the universe of humanity?
The Finding Your Roots camps were the brainchild of Harvard professor and Finding Your Roots series host Henry Louis Gates Jr. and Penn State anthropology professor Nina Jablonski.
I knew it was a good idea. It's one thing to think you have a good idea, but this is a great idea. And no child will be left behind if we have them trace their family tree. Why? Because what's your favorite subject? Your favorite subject is yourself. Both genetics and genealogy are about your ancestry. They both offer you a window onto the past. One, the recent past, genealogy, because you can only pursue the paper trail as long as there is paper in the trail. And then when the paper trail disappears, you look into the distant past through genetics.
So by starting with genealogy and going back one generation at a time and then getting kids to imagine what would it be like 16 or 64 generations back or 1,000 generations back, then we are in the realm of their genetics and human evolution. They can see the continuity from themselves to their distant ancestors.
Some camps they call us children or campers, but here they call us scientists.
What's the reason why I refer to you as scientists in this camp? Not campers, or kids, or students.
We get to try to be scientists.
Absolutely. So you get to be in the lab and then you actually get to not try, actually be scientists, right?
We spent a lot of time getting the kids to identify as scientists right from the beginning. When they realized that they could do it just as well as the adult scientists, they became empowered and excited.
Daniel Mayer.
Using a research-based curriculum, young scientists build knowledge and research skills over the course of the camp.
That's so cool!
That's the DNA condensing.
Experiments and games teach lessons about mutation, adaptation, natural selection, classification,
No, these are bigger.
evolution, differences, and relatedness.
You can show me why you think this part's wrong.
What do you think you are?
Campers will make predictions for what they think their ancestry will be.
All of my family traveled over from Europe at one time.
Well, I think I'm East Asian because I only have information about that since I'm adopted. That's what I think, yeah.
And they will open the results of their individual DNA tests conducted weeks before at the same time together.
I'm 100% European.
2% Korean.
From the big picture of genetics to the very personal of genealogy, campers learn to use all their resources, starting with their own family.
The first thing that all genealogists want to find is what we call a vital record.
Navigating the paper trail in a digital world online, and going beyond the limitations of the internet by seeking out sources in the real world.
Once you was in the home or something.
Like this is you, and then
After that, I guess in about the middle 30s.
All the while, each developing his or her own personal project to unveil on the final day, when the doors open and they present their findings to their families.
discovering a new aspect about oneself through one's ancestors is infectious. Genealogy puts you there. And all of a sudden, the abstractions of American history, the endless names and dates and timelines, all of a sudden, they have a face and a texture. And the face somehow resembles you. History becomes a mirror and you can see yourself in it. It's hard to beat.
The causes of poverty are both structural and behavioral, and too many of our own people have lost their way. And we think that with this curriculum, it'll allow them to be born again, to bring that fire for learning, that passion for learning back. Thank you. From this experiment, now we're going to school boards to get the curriculum, trying to get it institutionalized in the school system. I need your help for that. I need your help wherever you are, because we can make a change in this society through this curriculum.